What's up with claymation? Like, what's up with it?
What's up with it?
Claymation is a kind of stop motion where the animated subjects are made entirely out of clay or partly out of clay. Oftentimes, there will be a kind of armature beneath the clay, providing structure, improving animatability, and aiding in keeping the characters on model. Aardman is the premier claymation animation studio, and I'm not jealous of the people who work there at all. Wallace and Gromit, probably the most iconic claymation at this time, features clay characters sculpted atop a skeleton of precisely machined, interlocking brass, steel, and maybe some aluminum.
The 600 series had rubber skin. We spotted them easy, but these are new. Sweat, bad breath, everything.
Claymation is one kind of stop motion. One of the only kinds of stop motion to be given its own proper name. Claymation. Puppet stop motion doesn't have its own name. This lends credibility to Mr. Andre's question. What's up with claymation? Why does stop motion, featuring clay as a subject, get its own name, entirely separate from the label of its greater medium? What's really funny about this is claymation is actually more iconic a word. I tell people I do stop motion and they're like, oh, so like claymation? And I'm like, well, what I do includes but is not limited to clay animation, but yes. And everybody's always confused. Claymation, while the most iconic offshoot of stop motion, is not the only subgenre to have its own name. Animating people in stop motion is called pixelation. That's pixel with an I, not an E. Why is it called that? I don't know. In 1952, Norman McLaren released Neighbors, the definitive pixelation classic. Pablo Picasso is stated to have called it the best film ever made. He clearly never saw Muppet Treasure Island. In the modern age, one lone warrior walks alone, carrying pixelation into a desolate world. That one warrior is me, because I'm the only one doing it. I'm the only one making pixelation. No. Don't look at that. Don't look at that name. Don't look at that name. Or that one. Don't look at that one either. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm not the only person out there doing it. It'd be weird if I was, because it's cool and fun and people like it. For those who don't know, I've been making a series of pixelations where I animate a life-size skeleton along with myself. It's kind of a bizarre process, made even more bizarre if you have a broken foot, which I do. You can see the whole series on my shorts page or on my socials, but in this video, I'm just gonna be talking about the latest one. Let's check it out.
Hey buddy, how's the foot?
Still broken. Hurts.
Oh, is there anything I can do to make you feel better?
You know what'd make me feel really good right now?
Why don't you show me, big boy?
Okay, so this is the English opening. This is where white plays C4 instead of the traditional E4 or D4.
Oh my god.
Did you get all that? For the rest of this video, I'm gonna take you through the whole process start to finish. I might even tell a few jokes. So let's get right into it. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is shot order, or the order in which things were shot. Animated filmmaking is more than just the animation part. It's the filmmaking part too. You need to be thinking about the cut and how it's all gonna cut together and in what order to shoot things in. Remember, only fools shoot chronologically. This project has 8 shots. Each shot needs a whole new frame up and a whole new lighting setup. So try to shoot your more similar shots back to back to save time. It's very rare you're gonna wanna shoot a sequence in chronological order. Very rare. Traditional filmmaking logic says you wanna start wide and then get tight, because that way you know it's gonna work in a wide and you're not gonna have to move your lights and like try and match it weirdly. So the order in which I decided to shoot all this stuff was 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 7. Shots 1, 3, and 5, I cheated a little bit. I animated the two of us in separate passes. The first thing I did was I animated my pass. Pretty cool, huh? So what's going on here was I knew what I wanted me to do, and I wrote it down in the X sheet. And you can't see this, but over on this side of the screen, off camera, there's like a TV that's hooked up to my laptop, and it's got this whole image displayed on it. And what I'm actually holding here, I'm holding the Dragon Frame keypad. This is something that several people have noticed in comments. This allows me to scrub through frames from all the way back here. You'll notice I'm wearing a regular foot brace in this shot, not my cast, because I was getting put back in the cast in a couple days. I didn't want to wait. I just wanted to start shooting. I was like, yeah, no, it's not even really visible for this shot. I'll just go. It doesn't matter. So the first thing I did was I took a demo frame. I took like a frame of like where I wanted to end up. Like I'm in focus and it's like, here is where I wanted to end up at. So I took that frame first, but I didn't use it. I started with the flop back, and I made sure that I ended up at more or less where this guy is. Then my play loop begins. It's 4 frames, only 4 frames. Here, 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 here. When I'm sitting there playing, it's just these 4 frames over and over and over again. Then I wanted my blink sequence because I knew I wanted to blink. I calculated how long I thought the looking was gonna take. So I'd be like, I didn't need to animate a look back because I just reused those frames. Then we have me coming forward. I actually didn't use this sequence. Later on, I realized how much I was gonna overlap the skeleton and how much work I was gonna be creating for myself. So I decided to reshoot that sequence. We'll get to that. Then my big sit-up. Or I like pop up like that, like a little cartoon character. So that's it for pass number 1. Yeah, this took a bunch of tries. I think this took 4 tries to get like exactly what I wanted. Like this play loop was actually very difficult because I really wanted to not move. It was like I was slowly going like this every time, and so then when you play them in sequence, I go like, and that looks fucking stupid. It's really funny how you play it all back, and it's just basically gobbledygook. It's totally illegible.
Hey, buddy, how's the foot?
Still broken. Hurts.
Oh, is there anything I can do to make you feel better?
So that's the skeleton pass. Pretty cool. Yeah, you can see over here. I'm like when I'm taking the pictures, I'm like leaning to not reflect on him. I had a major realization during this that I actually wanted to reshoot the face palm and the reach forward. I wanted to reshoot that with us together because he just doesn't move that much, and I'm gonna save myself a lot of compositing here because like that's just a ton of that's a ton of roto. That's a ton of work. So I just did that part again. So I start this shot, I'm wearing the orange shirt. I shouldn't have done that. You'll notice later on in the shot, I leave the orange shirt right there so that it reflects the correct light onto the skeleton, which is funny. I like this sequence here. I just turn into a shirt. I think that's pretty funny. So this is pretty much just straight ahead animation. You can see me like sitting over there wearing a black t-shirt this time so that I don't reflect. I learned from my mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes, but I learn from them. Most of the time. You can't quite see the rig that holds him up. He's attached to a cinder block that has an 80-20 track going up and down. Actually, there's something really unforgivable that I did. Right there. Boop. Double hand. Double hand. Damn, dude, you can't be doing that. Can't get the double hand. There's really no excuse for that. Oh well. I think the strongest piece of animation in his pass is his, hey buddy, how's the foot? I think that's the best part. It's really poppy and fun. And his little hand wiggle is really like I don't know, he feels like a little kid. That's cute and fun too, his little aww. Now, in the end, those 2 passes were composited on top of each other. That saved me a bunch of time and a bunch of work. Going from frame up 1 to frame up 2 was very quick. You can see I'm wearing the cast now. That's because this was animated the day after, where the podiatrist put me back in the cast. So this part was tricky here. And like we were gonna do like a digital whip pan, kinda. Where we were gonna go from like here to like whoop. Then I just like held on this frame for the punch in on the movie poster gag. Something worth looking at here is the cup. I like glued it to a piece of cardboard and put that piece of cardboard on the couch here. Cause the table ended off camera, so the cup like shouldn't be in frame, but I cheated a little bit and made it in frame. I think it was the right choice. Look at the lighting difference between here and here. It's like crispy little highlight here. This is why it's better to go from wides to tights, because I probably wouldn't be able to get this effect in a wide. I would feel like I would need to match it, but really you don't need to match it. Now you'll notice I actually go with the wrong hand. Oopsie, my mistake, but it really doesn't matter. So here I'm holding a real PlayStation controller. I'm not holding the Dragon Frame keypad. That's something a lot of people noticed. When I'm really far away and I'm really focused on my movement, I really wanted to use the Dragon Frame keypad. But here, it's like, there's no excuse, dude. I had the keypad like over down here. I was like taking the frame and then I'm holding the controller like real fast. Let's move on to the intimate shot. This was a rather significant lighting change. I really wanted it to feel warmer, feel more like sexier. I wanted like a crispy highlight around right there and a crispy highlight there and there. You'll notice I look a little sweaty here. That's because it's hot. It's hot in my apartment. So the first thing I did was I shot like a demo frame again. Like this was where I wanted to end up. Then I animate me swooping in. I made sure to end up kind of in the same place. That's like really what I was trying to do. It took a couple tries to figure out what I wanted my head to be doing. I ended up settling on this like on the very Terrence and Phillip kind of blah, 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 blah. And you'll notice he's not moving at all during the beginning. And so that means that I get to focus entirely on my movement. And that's why I look so good. So now here, the minute he starts moving, you'll notice I start wiggling. See, the first frame he moves is the first frame my clothing starts to be jittery. But like I'm able to get back in like the same place pretty well because I'm pretty much just like rotating over a little bit and like moving him. I'm like really trying to keep his movement to a minimum here because the more he moves, the more I wiggle. Now like this is like the most wiggliest part because that's like where he's genuinely moving and I'm genuinely following him. Now here you get a better look at the rig. Look at this part here. This is a piece of track that's like basically going up and down. That's the tightening knob. I have to like reach around him to like grab it and like loosen it, lower him, tighten it again, and then get back in my same position. It's just a tricky thing to do. I did this in 2 passes because I figured there was really no way for me to keep my hand as still as I wanted it while getting up and animating the skeleton. There's just no way. Also, there was no way for me to light this in a way that my hands aren't casting massive, gross shadows. You'll see like for here, like even the difference between here and here is like huge on those pieces. It's like huge. So I went and rotoed my hand out of all of these frames. Not the most efficient way of doing this, but like this is something that would be difficult to get like on a green screen. To pick up the piece at the right place and match the lighting correctly and slide it forward, it would be difficult to convince the audience, you know, that like I'm really picking up the chess pieces. And there's so few frames here. Most of these frames are just like duplicates of previous frames. So it's not as many frames as you would think. I was thinking of like Skullmug, like the type of hand animation stuff that Skullmug does. If you don't follow him, he's great. He does great work. It's kind of snappy and like video gamey feeling. Oh, hey, look at the kitty. That whole time I was really scared. I was really scared the cat was gonna get up and get curious, but I guess she didn't. Like usually I would never be okay with the cat being right here, but like I have a broken foot and it's tricky for me to carry the cat to her room and like lock the cat in her room. It's just hard to do. And I guess the cat was in a sleepy mood. Yeah, the lighting on this one was tricky because I'm using all of my lights. Like I needed to make sure everything was illuminated well. And what that meant was this guy in the background is not the same color as the previous shots of the background, because I moved everything. And like, it's a shame. I tried really hard to match it, but I was just fully unable to do it with the gear that I had remaining. Like lighting these figures was like difficult. Now, if you look closely here, you'll notice they're not actually on the board at all. They're like, you see, these are the squares they would be standing on. They're not standing on those squares. They're standing behind those squares. And they're like propped up a little bit. What I found out was if they were here, you wouldn't see the pawns. They would be in front of the pawns and you couldn't see them. And the whole thing is I'm talking about how the pawns are moving. You needed to be able to still see the pawns behind them. That was a good call. Now, I think I have a cute time lapse of me and I'm just like on my knees, like holding my hand in the right place. And it's really uncomfortable, but you know, it's the only way to get a shot that looks like this. So I deemed it was all right. Okay, let's look at the skeleton pass now. So here you can see me. I don't have a ton to say about Skeleton's animation here. It's all pretty simple stuff. I really wanted him to move kind of slow, and I wanted him to move kind of evenly, like not take long pauses. I wanted him to be like, now, a shot like this is kind of tricky to light for because I wanted light to hit both sides of my arm, like all the way across the screen without really illuminating the table too much. I really wanted this to feel like, I wanted it to feel like poorly composited. Like as I'm dragging over the stuff, it's like my arm kind of overlaps it in a way that's like kind of ugly. But like it's funny, like it just feels wrong. A lot of why this shot works, I think, is because of the napkin. If like everything disappears in like 7 frames, that can be jarring and it could be hard to keep track of. But here it's like, even if they miss it, even if they miss this big action, they're gonna know that this guy didn't go all the way. One of the strengths animation has is the animator gets to completely modulate the visibility of every action down to the molecule. This shot was tricky to light for because it was the only shot where every single light moved a lot, because I'm actually not animating in that area of the house anymore. I'm animating somewhere else in the house so that my roommate can just go watch TV. This isn't even the same table. This is a different table. This was tricky. This I'm taking these frames with my foot, actually. With the non-broken foot. I can't scrub back and forth to see if I'm in the right place. I just have to like trust myself. But I know whenever I have to trust myself too much, it's generally a bad idea. I really like the way this shot cuts with the previous shot. I like disappear off screen on this side, then I appear on the other side. Like it feels like it works. Haha, your boy's back from the bathroom. So, you know, it's funny, this project was different than a lot of the other projects I've done. Because this project was really like, I wasn't focusing on animation so much as I was focusing on the filmmaking part. Like you'll notice I actually don't love a lot of the animation in this. The only animation that I love in this project are shots 7 and 8, where like, we swipe that and then I slam the chessboard down. Then I love how my hands move in this, and how he moves there. But other than that, I don't really love a lot of the animation in it. But it's so much more than the animation. It's not just how do they move, it's how does the whole thing cut together. Yeah, I think I'm officially all out of stuff to say with that. I think I'm officially out of stuff to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned some shit about how to make animation and how to make movies. I hope this knowledge is good. I hope you're able to take this information and add it to your own knowledge and create something that I couldn't create. Please let me know in the comments if you have any additional questions. I'm happy to answer. If you liked the video, please like it, because that actually really helps me. If you guys aren't subscribed, consider subscribing, or don't. I'm not gonna make you do it. Thanks again to my Patreon followers. You guys are the best. Without your help, none of this stuff would be possible. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thanks so much.